Continuing now with the halachot of pikuach Nefesh on Shabbat, this is also today will be a very big discussion in regards to returning back home after responding to treat a critically ill patient. This is a practical question. Rav Ovadia deals with it as a doctor, but in our society, it's more applicable for Hatzala members, someone who responds to an emergency. We've explained many times that when it comes to pikuach Nefesh on Shabbat, we put aside Shabbat and you respond and you act as if it was a normal Tuesday, and you treat the patient and give them life-saving medications and get them to the hospital. That includes anything and everything, includes needing to give IVs, includes giving medications, whatever it is, whatever it calls for oxygen, we do that on Shabbat. But the question is, now that you've treated the patient and taken him to the hospital, how do you get back home? Is there what is the halacha? Does the halacha allow the Jewish Hatzala members to come back home? Do they need a goy or not? So there's a big machlokes achronim, and to keep it short, this could be a long shiur. But there's a few primary sources in the Gemarot. There's a Gemara in Eruvin, I think Daf Mem Daled. There's also a Gemara that alludes to it in Rosh Hashanah. But the case is that they're trying to learn from someone that began to do something in beheter. The language of the Gemara is Hetiru sofan mishum tchilatan. They allowed the return or the ending because of the beginning. So in the Gemara, there's a few different scenarios what it's referring to, but the modern day poskim apply this logic to returning from Hatzala call as well. We'll try to make it very quick. What are the opinions in the Achronim without prolonging too long? The most lenient and the most relied upon opinion, we'll start there, is Moshe Feinstein. Moshe Feinstein was addressed with this question. Obviously, he lived in America. He discusses Brooklyn and different parts of New York. He describes the concept and he explains that returning back home on Shabbat from Hatzala call would be permitted as well, even though there are Isurei Deoraita happening. Even though when they get back in the car, they turn on the car, they push the gas, they push the brake. These are clear-cut Yisrei Deoraita of Havara, of burning a fire and the like. Nevertheless, he permits it based on this logic of Hetiru Sofar Mishum Tchilatan, that we allow the return or the ending because of the beginning. In the beginning, he left beheter, he went to do the mitzvah of saving a life in a permissible way, so he can come back in a permissible way as well. Now, there are many achronim who disagree with this. Rav Ovadia, for example, explains that even though it's mutar, even though we all know, we're not disagreeing with the fact that you can go treat a patient, see a patient, save a life, once he treats the patient, it's forbidden for him to come back in his own car back home. The concept of Hitiru Sofan Mishum Tchilatan, the ending is permitted based on the beginning, doesn't apply here. Why? Shelo Ne'emar Heter Zeh Ela Lehatir Isurei Derabanan. This concept, I prove it it's for a long discussion, but Rav Ovadia proves that this concept is only for Isur Derabanan. We don't see in the Gemarot that they permit Isur Deoraita to come back. It's just Isur Derabanan, we permit them if they start off in a permissible way. Velo le'atir Isur Deoraita, not a biblical prohibition. Umikol makom rashai le'achzor leveto ayedei goy mikevan she'en bazeh ele Isur Derabanan. He says, so what's the suggestion that Rav Ovadia gives? That you have a team of non-Jewish members as well on Shabbat, that they respond and they drive the members back home from their calls. This is a big machlokes. Also, the Tzitz Eliezer also discusses this. The entire tshuva is machmir, like similar logic to Rav Ovadia. At the end, and he says if someone can't do this and has to drive back themselves, they have a big pillar to rely on, Rav Moshe Feinstein. And there are many achronim, we won't get through all of them now, but have a similar tone of voice, where Hatzala, ideally, according to Rav Ovadia, it's not even the Chatchai B'diavad. It's strictly a Jew should not drive back from Hatzala call. They should have a goy do it. Now, what do we do here in New York? What do we do in Great Neck and in Queens and in the tri-state area? So every neighborhood in our society has their own halacha posek. Great Neck is following Queens, and the Queens Hatzala, they actually follow Moshe Feinstein. So they permit their members to drive back on Shabbat. Rabbi Chaim is not so fond of this. He recommends, like Rav Ovadia, he says that we should ideally have a team of non-Jews who drive us back on Shabbat. There are neighborhoods in New York State, Borough Park, I think, and Flatbush maybe, that they have a team of non-Jewish members on call all Shabbat, that their job is to drive back the cars from Hatzala call. So there's a lot of discussion, there's a lot to learn. We're keeping it very short, but la halacha, The Rav Moshe Feinstein is the lenient one. Most of the other Achronim are more strict. And B'ezras Hashem, we won't need to be encountered with the scenario that everyone should be safe and healthy. Chazak u'baruch.